that her affirmation has ended with and loved by me, because sometimes we can accept that God loves us, but we haven't fully accepted and integrated and been our love, because we're still busy reading from the Great Human Potential, Walking in One's Own Light. And today's topic and chapter is the love of your life is you. So
this we have to learn for love. We are.
But it's okay, as we spoke a little bit early on, it's like, for me, there's I want to say, no desire, no need, no want for another, because I love myself. I give myself permission to love me, to do what I want to do, to be what I want to be, to eat what I want to eat, to whatever. So there's I choose to, I want to say, be in love, be in the vibration of the love that I am, and who else in my life, be it friends, clients, whatever, whoever would like to choose to participate in being in love with themselves, being in that love vibration, and also sharing this kindness, consideration, compassion, understanding, acceptance, allowance, all that. That's the area that I want to play in, and the people that I want to relate with and interact with. Anybody operating at that frequency is welcome in my space. Anybody that's not operating at that frequency can play with others that also is not on that frequency. So I've and that's what I said in previous satsangs. It's like I'm this now. I'm both. I'm both sides. My masculine and feminine inside of me is balanced, and there's no unbalanced energies where I feel that somebody else must come and play that balance. It's like it's balanced inside, and I feel whole and complete. There's no part of me that's missing. Where in the past I felt that from time to time. I would sway in and out of that. But now there's a more integrated version of myself. And I like to, if ever there was an opportunity to be with an integrated another, then I'll look at it. But it's like there's no, I have to have. And it is missing or lacking or anything like that. Okay, so now I find it very interesting that our topic today is this, because for the past few weeks I got that we need to talk about relationships, or I need to talk about relationships, and we need to address all these relationship stuff, because we are forever related, either with a partner, with a parent, with a child, with work colleagues. So the issues in relationships does affect each and every one of us. Doesn't matter where. So let's start. All of your relationships are founded on self-love, which is then reflected back to you through these relationships. We consider lack of self-love the number one issue on the planet at this time, closely followed by persecution in the second. We really want to make this point clear. It is not about your relationship with others, but first and foremost, the relationship you have with yourself, and that will allow you to access more love, more joy, more happiness, more abundance, more health, and more vitality. So it's to take the manifestation to the next level. Understanding those principles now in love. It is a major core issue for you, and we wish to assist you in shifting your perspective. There are many programs in mass consciousness that keep you locked into a lack of self-love. We are going to talk about some of them here. Let me start again. The first one that we have quite a bit of trouble with because it sets you up for failure and separation is the idea of what you call soulmates and twin flames. And I can relate. We are not saying that they do not exist, but what we are saying is that it is an extremely rare occurrence in particular lifetimes. Even if you choose not to work with a soulmate or a twin flame, it really doesn't matter, because the relationship with twin flame or soulmate is no different than any other relationship that you can create for yourself. It was a label that you put on relationships at a time when you did not have the potential to interact with as many people as you do today, due to your ability to travel and connect via the internet. The idea of a twin flame and a soulmate sets you all up with the notion that there's only one person with whom you can experience love. I had that mistakenly thinking as well. And if you don't meet this person, you're going to be missing out. This lifetime, more than any other, you are focused on integrating as many aspects of yourself as possible. One way to accomplish this is to work with those with whom you have unresolved issues with in other lifetimes. And that's very important. That is a very important point. Because with certain challenging experiences that we have in relating with others, be it friends, be it business partners, be it close relationships, it's usually, most of the time, so it's to unresolved issues from other lifetimes. So whatever needs to be resolved is going to be resolved. We sometimes just give it a flavor in the beginning by what it says. You think, oh, now I've met my twin flame. Oh, now I've met my soulmate. And as soon as you've given something a label, you have very difficulty in letting go of that because of your attachment to the label. Not necessarily your attachment to the person, but your attachment to the label. It's like, oh, this is a business opportunity that we've been waiting for. This is this. And sometimes it doesn't always work out as we think it is going to. We have certain romantic ideas about stuff, but the idea about why it had to come together, play out, is not necessarily what really needs to play out. And it's just to take the blinkers off and just see it for what it is, and just know that it's just a different role player. When it comes to an end, it comes to an end, and where you feel drawn in by other experiences that go through it, but not with the expectation that they are your saviors or that they're the one, because you are that. And it's to again bring the knowing of your own power, the love that you are. Because you can't lose what you are, what you have. It's always, everything teaches you something about you. And it's to see the lessons that there was for you, to learn more about you and what is important for you, what is priority for you. Not to place our strength and our power in somebody else. But it's like, if you don't do it for yourself, others can't. And there's a lot of times that we just need to start doing things for ourselves again. Because when you place it in other people's hands, that's where the frustration comes, that's where the disappointment comes, because there's an expectation that they're actually going to pick it up and they don't. But it's when you're through something, just look at what was the unresolved stuff that came through. And if it has been heightened, the emotions have been heightened, it's probably because it's also from other lifetimes. And it's just to heal them through that. And as the November forecast, energy forecast from Lee Harris also said, this month of November is about healing. And it's to heal all those woundings that we have been denying in ourselves, that we haven't seen for ourselves, the false beliefs that we had, the judgments that we carry, the shame that we carry, and the guilt that we carry. It's to really heal from that, release that. So the more relationships you have, the better your chances to integrate. Some of which may be a romantic relationship. So within a relationship, there is about 100 points of a vibrational connection that you can establish. In most long-term relationships, about 30 of these points align. In most short-term relationships, you work with about 10. In this lifetime, you are able to work through these issues pretty quickly, whereas in other lifetimes in history, the pace of integration was much slower, as the overall vibration was much lower. It took much longer to identify the lower programs that were running. And it's now for us to become aware of what is these lower programs that is running. In the past, you may have chosen to only work on 4 or 5 big issues in a lifetime. And as my numerology report of the soul code thing says, it's like I asked for it all. I said, bring it on. I can do this. I want to do all this, but be able to do and access all this and the good stuff, you have to face all the bad stuff. You have to clear all the bad stuff. It's not, you can just have it all on this side and not having to, I want to say, sacrifice or release or let go of, just still keep this stuff. You can, your energy is either here or there, but you sometimes have to relinquish here, clear here, release here to have more of this, because then you can be more of this. And I know I know what I've signed up for. Yeah, very much aware of that. So relationships tended to last a bit longer, as it took you a while to see these issues. And you typically had a smaller pool of people to interact with to be a reflection for you. Remember, at this time, you have more universal support as you move through the photon band. These high vibrational particles assist you in the process of integration so that you are able to work faster with a greater range of frequencies. Today, the pace is accelerated. You are trying to integrate as much as you possibly can. What you find is that before you incarnated, you set up contracts for potential relationships. For instance, you had persons A, B, and C lined up as potential romantic relationships. If A wasn't ready, then you had B as the backup. If B weren't available, you moved on to C, and so on. You set up other contracts this way because timing is far more challenging in this lifetime. The potential for you to integrate is much greater, and you do so. The need to connect, or the attraction to connect with a specific individual will shift. That's why when people don't vibrate at the same frequency anymore, when they need to have experiences of certain things, they need to clear karmic stuff, or they need to clear their wounding, and sometimes people get removed from your space so that they can go and play that or have those experiences somewhere else, and others are drawn into you because you're still assisting one another with it. So on the contrary, they are very malleable. You think of them as heavy, and that if you don't show up at a particular time or place, you are missing out on an opportunity. That comes from fear, from lack, from distrust, and disconnection. You never ever miss an opportunity. You never ever miss an opportunity. If you are pulsing out frequency, it will be reflected back to you. It is a matter of whether you are open to perceive and receive it. Again, the example that we gave earlier on. The form could be slightly different to that of the opportunity you passed or on initially, but the frequency that you want to experience will be identical to the original. This is very important because oftentimes in relationships, you tend to focus on a particular person as opposed to staying open to form. When you are open to form, the person who is the best vibrational match for you can show up. Discomfort arises when you get stuck on or attached to a person who is not the highest vibrational match for you. Attachment will always create discomfort. And I see that over and over. And that's why I say, if there's a lot of people that are struggling with relationship issues now. It's like in the one Zoom group that I joined this week, the one lady was a divorce attorney, and she said since this lockdown, she hasn't been this busy and had so many divorces than ever before. So there's a lot, I know there's a lot of changes in relationships. But the difficulty in what people do sometimes when they do part or whatever is like if there's an attachment to that of, but it was my soulmate, but it was my twin flame, but it was this, it was the one. We have difficulty in letting that go and rather letting it be replaced with something that is now at a higher vibrational match, the right match for us. So again, it's when it comes to relationships, it's not to necessarily prescribe to spirit that this person must come to you, this person must love you, and this person must ask you to marry them or whatever. It's to say, okay, there's a certain feeling that I would like to have. If it is now, okay, I choose to be in love. I choose to be in this vibration of love, and I choose to share love. Anyone sharing this vibration is allowed in my space. But not to make the receiver prescriptive to spirit. And a lot of times when people that go through breakups talk to me, they say, but no, but it's him and I want him back. And why is he not phoning? And why is he not seeing this? And why is he not changing? But it's never to look at the others. We can only take responsibility for us, for ourselves, for our decisions, for what we want, and it's to not be in denial of what that is anymore.
Sort of stop your prayers. Let's say pray for something, and you pray and you pray and you pray, and then you say, "Dear God, I've prayed for it, but please do it my way."
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're back in square one.
Yes.
But talking about relationships here, I was just thinking the relationships we have with ourselves and the relationships we have with our abundance, our poverty thinking, and everything else. We need to change those relationships if they no longer suit us, and drop them. It doesn't have to be a person. It's
Yes.
a relationship you have with an idea,
With health, with money, with
whatever,
anything,
even with your broomstick.
even with your broomsticks. Okay, I'm going to stop it there for today, and this is to be continued. Dot dot dot. I want to just ask, what are you taking away from the reading today? What realizations have you had? What has come to you? What do you understand now? How does it relate to your life?
Hi, Fee. Yes, lots I've taken out from today's session, and I agree it has to be continued. No ways. Thanks, Beryl, for your beautiful chat. I think it was right earlier. Really inspirational story about the money. It's amazing what we really, when we put out to the universe, what we get back. I've learned such a lot in Fiona's meditation sessions thus far. And I think for me, the big one was the self-talk, my self-belief. And I actually found it this week in a personal experience. And the self-talk I gave to myself, and it panned out the way I really want. I literally jumped up to say, it really does work. So these self-talks do work. I did the journaling as well, which was actually quite interesting. So there's a lot of tools that are actually forthcoming in our sessions. And I'm just so grateful for them. Yeah, so that's just my little small contribution to the talk.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else?